Hi crafters, welcome to Creative Moments by G. Guess what time it is? It's paper pumpkin time. Maudie and I just received our May paper pumpkin kit. The best there is. It's all about masculine cards. Happy Father's Day. And we have created 8 cards for you, and I'm going to create 2 cards with you on this video. Now, I want to remind you, if we have instructions, look below the video in the description, and I will put a link for you. So let's head down to the crafting table and let's get busy. Let me show you the sentiments that they gave us with this kit. Look at those beautiful sentiments. We have 3 sentiments and we have these beautiful trees. And then this right here is to give you some texture on the leaves that they give you in the kit. Now, they give you these punch outs right here, and look how pretty that is. You can use that smaller stamp to stamp on these leaves right here. They also give you this cute circle punch out. They give you some additional mats that you can use. They give you this card that you can actually use if you purchase the add-on, the die to cut this center out, which I'm going to show you a card that we designed for that purpose. We went ahead and we took all the cards that they gave us and we cut them apart. Now you can see that we still have supplies left. So we're going to have 10 cards that we've taken and we've stepped up just a little bit. But what we wanted to do with this kit is keep it simple. So these cards you can make very quickly and have them ready very easily for a masculine birthday, Father's Day. Maybe you want to give a card to your son, your nephew, uncle. We have some alternatives for you. So let's make a card. Now this first one that we're going to make requires a full piece of cardstock. That's 8.5 by 11. Now the good thing about it is it makes 2 cards. We're going to score it at 4 1/4. And then we're going to turn it the long way and score it at 5 1/2. And now we are going to take our piece of cardstock and we are going to put it in the canal, this corner, and the bottom opposite corner. Now let me see if I can back out just a little bit so that you can see it. Now you can put this tip all the way into the canal. Down here, make it go a little bit further, and then this one, so I'm just putting it in the canal, both places, and we are going to slice. Now, a good tip is to remove your scoring blade, and that allows you to go a little bit further at the end of the paper, cutting it in half. And now look at how we fold the cards. So we have our rectangle right here. We're going to fold in, making sure that the bottom part lines up. Go ahead and bring in your bone folder, and then we're going to fold this one down. And now we have our diagonal card, and you can actually make 2. So let's go ahead and give a good crease to our other piece of cardstock. And now we have our 2 cards that open up just like this. So what we've done is we have taken, this is a piece of cardstock from our patterned paper pack, and we will list that below. This is from the actual envelope that we cut apart. Now, we want to make sure that we've cut this to be a first mat because we want a little border around this triangle. So let's make sure that it is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. and it is, let's make sure this one is cut at 4 5 1/4. Now, when you go to slice your mat, you want to make sure that you're coming from the right top to the left bottom on your corners. So we have our right top to the left bottom. So let's line that up. And now we have this cut perfectly to fit. And this one will go on the top. So now let's focus on this piece of paper right here. Let's go ahead and once again cut from the right top to the left bottom. And we have this perfectly cut. And now this one's going on the top. So let's go ahead and lay these down on our card. Gives you a nice little border right here. All right, now it's all about decorating the front. We have cut a belly band, and that's what's going to hold our cards together. Now, we need to go ahead and put a piece of Very Vanilla, and that is cut as a first mat. So our first mats, because we like a small border, they are cut at 4 by 5 1/4. Now, here's our belly band. We are just going to wrap it around our card. And give these sides a good crease. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of a tape right here because it will hold it and dry right away. So I'm using my tape runner to do that. So let's just get that. Okay. Now what we've decided to do on this one is we've cut a square and then we cut out a frame. We're also going to use this punch out that they gave us. Look at that. How pretty is that? So let's go ahead and stamp our message right here using Night of Navy. Let's add our frame. And now let's put our beautiful little leaves behind it. Look at that. Just peeking out just a little bit. So let's go ahead and add that with some dimensionals. Just going to put one right in the center. And we're going to add this right to the front of our belly band. So we can just add another dimensional right here. And I'm going to go ahead and add 2 just to make sure that it really adheres to the belly band. And there we have our first card. Now remember, this makes 2 cards. So we decided to change the belly band up just a little. It comes on and off really well. So let's just put this one right here. We're going to bring this one in. And now we're going to bring in some blue just to give it some added color. We have our belly band. We're just going to put it to the back and fold over. Bring in our tape runner. Put a little bit of tape right there, just so that it catches. Make sure it's even. And now we're going to add this using some dimensionals. Okay, let's go ahead and put some dimensionals right here and just add our image right there on the middle of the belly band. And now we have stamped a message, and we needed a skinny message, so we just went and found a skinny sentiment, "You're the best," from another stamp set, and we are just going to lay this down with some tape right across. Okay, and there we have 2 of our cards. Now look at that. You have plenty of room to take off your belly band, open up your card. You can accomplish this by just cutting your envelope apart and using that beautiful wood grain patterned paper. Now let me show you 4 more cards. We decided to do a panel card. We used the mat that they gave us. We cut apart the card and created these panels. We used their little punch out and used their stamp on the inside as well as the outside. Now look at this one. We decided to do some diagonal cuts, and we set this up on dimensionals, added the inside mat, and then we added a strip and we cut apart that card, right? And we used a bit of it right up there, just creating this different leveled card. So pretty, and it really adds to it when you add this diagonal cut up on dimensionals. We also stamped our trees. Here's another quick card. We used some strips to create the interest on the corners. We used the mat that they gave us, cut it down just a little bit and matted it. And then we used a sentiment from another stamp set. We added the strip right here from that mat that they gave us, keeping the colors the same. Okay, are we ready to make our second card? Love the colors on these cards. Now this card is really interesting. It's going to have a candy box that you can add some whatever kind of candy you want for this little gift and card. We need to start with a 6 3/4 square. Then we're going to score it at 2 1/4 on all sides. We're just creating a box. So let's put our trimmer to the side and let's grab our scissors. Now you can see these score lines right here. We're just going to make it where you can see it a little better. We're going to cut up right here, just this little bitty square right to the score line, just like that. We're going to then take it and just flip it over and we're going to go ahead and cut the score lines on the opposite side. Now, whenever you put a box together, when you fold it, there's so much right here that we like to miter these edges so that there's not so much bulk. And it's not a big deal. All you do is you kind of slice a little triangle out on the inside and the outside, just like that. And leave the middle one alone. And just go ahead and slice it just a little bit, just to cut away some of the bulk. That's why we do that. So we're leaving this middle one alone, and we're just cutting out some of the bulk on the outside squares. Okay, and now we're ready to put it together. Let's look at how that goes together. We're going to bring these in and put that panel on the outside, just like that. So we know that we need glue on these 4 outside tabs. So let's go ahead and just use our tape runner. To create this box. So set it down, bring this one in, bring the other tab in to where it's straight, and then just fold this one over. Okay, we're going to bring in the side tab, bring in the side tab, and bring up this panel. See how easy that is to create? Now what we've done is we've used the paper that they gave us and we created these mats. Look at this. We used that mat, we just cut it apart, and we're just going to add it right there to the side of the box to create a beautiful box. So let's just add a little bit of tape. Get that centered. And move on to the next one. And look at our box. Very quickly, we created this box. Now for the lid, we've taken a 3 3/8 inch square, and we are going to just score a 1/2 inch on all sides. So bring in your trimmer and score on all 4 sides. We're going to do the same thing that we did on our box. We're going to cut up on the side, leaving this long middle tab and just making 2 little cuts, flip it over, and cut on those score lines just by where the squares are, the corner squares. Now we're going to fold it up. And the same thing happens. We're going to fold those side tabs in and bring this one over, just like that. So knowing that, we're going to put a little piece of tape on each tab. Now you might want to bring in your silicone mat for this because the tabs are so small, in case you go outside. Outside the margins, right? Now, because this is so small, we don't really need to miter the edges. We're just going to bring that in, line it up, and pinch it so that it gets really tightly against that flat panel. See that? We're going to do the same thing. Bring in the side tab and pinch it Bring in the side tab and give it a good pinch. And now we have the top of our candy box. Look at this. Here we have our box. So we're just going to set that to the side because we are creating this really fun card. Now let me show you what we have done with this card. We cut a typical base card. That's 8.5 by 5.5. We scored it at 4 1/4. So it's really just a normal base card. Then we took it to where the fold is on the top and we measured 1 inch, put a little tick mark on the right hand side. On the left hand side, we went in and we made a little tick mark at 2 1/4. So we have both tick marks. One from the right side at 1 inch, one from the left side at 2 1/4. And now you simply cut down 2 inches and cut across. That's how you get this opening. So it's down 2 inches and cut across to meet this. Now I want to show you what this box does. It sits right here in the card. Is this not the cutest thing? Look at that. It sits up just like that. Now let's decorate the front of this. We have, for the inside, we're going to just put a mat. So let's go ahead and get that laid down. You can stamp this or just leave it so that you have plenty of room to write. Plus, it gives it additional strength. Fold it down, and now we're just going to add some mats. So we're adding this one where we have the same distance from here to the top. And then we're just putting a little strip of paper right here on the top, just to give it some interest. Now we used one of the punch outs that they gave us and we stamped Happy Father's Day, and we're going to put that right here and we're going to set it up on some dimensionals. And there you have the front of the card. We have our cute little box that we will be adding some candy to it. And this is what it looks like on the front. How cute is that? Maudie and I have seen this made many times, but we just had never done it. And we thought this would be the perfect card for Father's Day because you're going to add some candy or some peppermints or whatever. I'm going to lay it so that you can see it. And let me show you our other cards. Now look at this one. We decided to go ahead and emboss black. We used some gold cardstock. We punched out this area using our die that we had from the add-on that we purchased. We added some gold paper around it. Now look at what I did. This is a card that we cut apart. And then I went in and I added a little bit of gold leafing. I just rubbed it with my finger just to make it pop. And then we stamped the inside. Look at that. That one turned out so pretty. Now here's the diagonal cut. We just once again used our card, cut it apart, just created this diagonal. We used their punch out. We added a little shadow circle right there. We added our leaves on the inside. And finally, we made another 2-for-1. We took their mat that they gave us and we cut it apart and we used it at the top here and the bottom here. Now we used another stamp set for these beautiful images. This thanks comes from that add-on that we were able to buy. And we used those leaves that they gave us. Once again, used the stamps. use some bling. We used this little additional part that we had cut off. And here is the second group. So take a moment and let us know, which group was your favorite, the first group or the second group? Well, Monty and I hope that you enjoyed our paper pumpkin alternatives. Our goal was to make them quick and easy, but to also step them up, and we hope we did that for you. Take a moment, give us a thumbs up, share, and subscribe to our channel. Monty and I want to wish you a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.